Hello, this is RICKY, the Android Guy. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Android Weekly and Android Q&A, where first I go over all the weekly news that happen in the mobile world, then I answer live viewer questions that were emailed to me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com during the week, and then after that I take live viewer questions. So if you're joining us right now, please leave your questions in the comment section down below, and I will answer them shortly. Actually, I need to pull those up, as a matter of fact. Again, this is the new setup. Hopefully you guys liked it. I got some good feedback last week, trying to make it so it's more level. So hopefully it is now. It's just hard because I have to stack my webcam on top of things. I need to find a way to mount the webcam. That's the next step. Alright, but now let's get to the weekly news, first of all. So, the big thing that everyone, I got so many messages about was easily what's up with Samsung's profit and everything like that right now. So that's definitely the first question I have to address, because that was the big elephant in the room this week, was that Samsung, and let me show you how this looks. Samsung sees its lowest profit in 2 years as smartphone sales are laggish. So I wanted to kind of bring this to light because this is always people not doing their job properly, you could say. In terms of reporting and in mobile news, I always find this funny, and I literally just got back from my trip, and I had a whole bunch of people ask me this. I was on vacation, just came back, so I felt this was the first one I had to address. So let's take a deeper dive into this. What does this mean? How bad is Samsung hurting, and how bad is it showing? Now, there's been certain people at Samsung that have said, oh, well, it's because, Huawei has become so popular, and, they've doubled their shipments from China. So that's one of the big things that basically caused this. And, they said that the sales weren't as good on the Galaxy S5, so that was another big concern. So is this really the only cause of it, and should Samsung be worried? Well, here's the thing. Samsung is still far and ahead of everyone else in the mobile industry, and that includes Apple. So let's take a deep dive into this. So for what they made, I actually went into Samsung's full disclosed of everything they have. So let's take a deeper dive into this. So Samsung essentially made 7.19. This is the main number that everyone goes by when they're talking about companies operating. When they're talking about companies' profit, they generally talk about operating profit, not net profit. So most of the time when you see companies like, oh yeah, we made this much money, we made this much money, they're talking about operating profit for the most part. At least when you see them posted on tech blogs. Now, here's a huge thing that people don't realize. Well, actually, two big things. One, in terms of sales, they made 52 trillion won, which does translate to roughly about $50 billion in revenue, which compared to Apple, they made 37.4 billion. So here's to give you an idea of, first of all, Samsung is far exceeding everyone else, even Apple, in terms of revenue. Now, why aren't they as profitable? So that's the next question. So Apple made 7.7 billion, which 7.19 won translates to about 7.6 billion. So Samsung is slightly under Apple in terms of operating profit. However, here's a big thing that most people don't realize. Samsung spends a lot, roughly over $3 billion in this quarter alone on research and development. Just to give you an idea of how much Apple spends less than $3 billion for the year. This is a big deal because even though although their profit is less, it's mainly because Samsung is putting so much money into research and development. Now, to be fair, they have been, of course. They have been each time. You can see this from last year at this time to this year at this time. They are steadily increasing it, but the idea is that they're putting more into research and development. So even though their sales are outseeding everyone in the mobile industry, where it really comes down to is their profit has gone down. One, because of the fact that yes, they didn't sell as many S5s as expected, and that's mainly because of metal, which they've already said that they are creating phones and new materials in the next 6 months. Now, of course, this can mean the Note 4, this can mean the Alpha, and this could mean a curved display device, which is what I'm hoping for. But I'm actually betting on the middle point. I bet the Note 4, or although the Alpha sounds really intriguing right now, I believe that's going to be another Korean phone, as a Korean viewer actually commented last week that they are expecting it over there already. So there's already rumors of the Alpha being in Korea, but only in Korea. So I believe it's going to be another phone that's just in Korea and not in the US. That's what my stance is on the Alpha. Now, will that be the only phone with new materials? Well, if Samsung says in the next 6 months that they're going to have phones with new, or devices rather, with new materials, I doubt that's going to be the only one. So because of that, I am saying the Note 4 will probably be different materials, and maybe down the line we will see a bendable display device. I'm hoping the phone to a tablet thing that we saw at CES 2 years ago, but that's what I believe. And I think with that, I mean, I told people before the S5 announcement, I said if Samsung really wanted to kill it, if they knew exactly how to kind of be not just innovative but profitable, all that Samsung needs to do was metal body, Snapdragon 801 processor, 60 megapixel camera, done. They didn't need to do anything else. If they had just done that, the S5 would have sold way more than it did now, just because customers wanted a metal body and they want a different look, and that's all it needed. If they would have done that, I believe that the S5 would have sold a lot better. However, I just wanted to explain it because a lot of people are gonna, and trust me, I've had friends that are Apple fanboys already message me like, "Oh, what now? What now? I told you that this was gonna happen." And all that. I'm like, "Yeah, this is why you're an Apple fanboy. Never do research." So yeah, and that's the thing, because I really wanted to explain why, yes, Samsung is down, and by all means they're down, but they're so far ahead of everyone else that it's not even a close comparison. Not to mention that the Beats deal from Apple just came through in this quarter, meaning Q3, which means Apple will end with theirs, so Q3 is July, August, September. Q3 will end theirs in September with the iPhone launch, and whatever money they get from that is going to be taken away. The increase that's going to come from the iPhone is going to be taken away in profit by the Beats deal, by how much they spent. So that's a future insight into the stocks of Apple without anyone needing to actually talk about it or the predictions that all these analysts make. In other news, HTC has scheduled an event in NYC for August 19th. Now everyone's wondering what this is about. Many people speculate that this will be the Windows device that HTC has said that they will come out with. So HTC has already said they're going to come out, or no, actually, no, I don't think they've straight come out and said it, but it's pretty much confirmed that HTC will have a Windows device that's the HTC One for Windows. That's what it is. The trademark name has been created already, and they were like, really? The HTC One for Windows? Yes. That is what the name of this device will be. Now, what will it be? What will it have, really? That's more of the more interesting question, I would say, out of this. So I'm really curious, definitely. I think Windows needs more support. LG is supposedly returning to Windows now, but this isn't, I feel, out of necessity. I feel this is more because HTC has not succeeded in Android this year as they would have liked, and LG is. We'll see how the G3 is doing. actually does. Because right now we're hearing a lot of buzz, but in terms of sales, it's still not that much in the U.S. Now, overseas, let's wait and see how it does. So yeah, that's the curiosity of it. The other thing that HTC is rumored to have at this event is a couple of other things. The other possibility is of a Butterfly, which, if you're not familiar with it, the Droid DNA that came out for Verizon last year was a almost carbon copy of one called the Butterfly J or J Butterfly from HTC. And so they just came out with the Part 2, and it's kind of like the HTC One, except better in every way. What they did essentially was created a 13 megapixel camera instead of the 4 ultra pixels, dual cameras. So you still have the dual cameras, just the 13 megapixels instead, and it has a Snapdragon 805 processor. So it's better than in every way, compared to the HTC One currently. That is another possibility. I think actually it's going to be a third possibility, which not a lot of people are talking about right now. I think it's going to be a phablet device that they launch at this event. I believe that HTC One will launch their so-called Prime that was rumored for a while, and it was basically like a bigger version of the HTC One and improved. And I think they're going to release that to combat the Note and to combat the iPhone. I do believe HTC will come out with something more than a Windows Phone, because if they only come out with a Windows Phone, then this is getting overhyped. Because for a Windows Phone from HTC, not Nokia, it's not enough. It's not big enough to make an event. So I am giving HTC the benefit of the doubt, and I think they're going to come out with a higher end device to combat the Note and to combat the G3 and to combat the iPhone. All right. In other news, Microsoft is currently suing Samsung for violation of the Android patent licensing contract. Supposedly, Samsung is not paid for patents in order to use patents. So, for those of you who don't know, Android uses Microsoft patents. So it's not like the whole Apple thing where like they're like, oh, you're using my patents, you're not allowed to sell phones. No, Microsoft did what every normal company does with patents. They're like, oh yeah, use them all you want. Pay me this much per device you sell. And that's how most patents are used. You have to pay licensing fees in order to use them. Supposedly Samsung, now there's lots of variations of this, but supposedly Samsung has been said not to have paid since September of 2013. That's almost a year. If they haven't, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so if they haven't paid, I mean, they will have to pay if they haven't. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how much that adds up to as well. That's also another thing. So that could hurt Samsung in the Q3. So this is all really interesting to see how profit and revenue and everything like that is really being played out now on a grander scale because of these disputes. So now we're kind of getting to a more interesting level of the patents. And this is what, by the way, one of the reasons why HTC hurts so much. So for those of you who don't know, HTC, for every single HTC sold, they have to pay Microsoft, they have to pay Nokia, which is now a division of Microsoft, but they have to pay them separately, different patents. And they have to pay Apple. So they have to pay 3 companies per every phone sold, undisclosed amounts for licensing, for every phone. Every phone that they sell, they have to pay. Not to mention Google for the OS. So, yeah, that's why HTC's profits are always so low, and why I always tell people, look, HTC's hurting. Just because they sell a few more phones, they need to sell a lot more phones to be truly profitable because of how many people they have to pay in comparison to any other manufacturer. LG doesn't pay that many. Samsung doesn't pay that many. Sony doesn't pay that many. Only HTC pays that many people, and that's hurting them. In the other news, Samsung has filed a trademark for the Gear S in the US. Will we be seeing another Gear launch with the Note? I mean, that's what I immediately get from this. If they are filing a Gear S, Then could we see Note 4, Gear S, and possibly even that leaked VR? That's what Sam Mobile thinks, and I agree. I completely agree with this. That I think that what we could get is the Gear S, Note 4, and Gear VR. Um, that would be an interesting combination, but the main key, of course, will be the Note. The Note has to blow people away. If the Note blows people away, it's going to be good. It's going to take a bit of the wind out of the iPhone, which is just going to be a 4.7-inch screen, f2.0 lens, 8 megapixel camera, 720p display. Google. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And in breaking news that just happened today, for the last bit of article of the day, and then we will move on to the questions. Android has finally taken over iOS in terms of usage stats for the first time ever. Now, for those of you who don't know, Apple always brings this up. Oh, yeah, well, you know what? People use our devices more than anyone else. That's one of their claims to fame. Guess what? They can't use it anymore. Android has actually finally surpassed them after Apple has dipped lower to a 44.19, while Android has risen to a 44.62. Now, although this is a slight switch, this is a definite good increase in terms of Android, moving up almost a full percent, whereas Apple has dropped below towards full percent. And you can see that this has been trending, that this was going to happen, and now it has. So this is really interesting, and again, Apple is hoping that when they do release their new device that this will bring people back, but this has been a hard hit for Apple because, as we all know, they're running out of statistics to pull from. At their last event, they made up half the statistics and got called out for it. If for those of you who didn't see Apple's statistics, or like the things they said, like, oh yeah, you know, Android this, and everyone was like, no, those are completely wrong. I don't know what you're talking about, Apple. You're making up numbers. So it was really funny to see like that they were trying to poke fun at Android, but yet they didn't do it correctly. All right, so I do see your viewer questions down there, guys. I will answer them as soon as I answer the weekly questions first, and then I will get to the viewer questions down below. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section down below. All right, Armando asks, hey Ricky, hope you're doing fine. I'm having problems with my Note 3. When I transfer photos and videos from my internal storage to the SD card, they break up and I cannot see them, I cannot see them anymore. I cannot see it anymore. Do you have anything else to do besides more? No, but I think you might have an old memory card. And now, if you're watching live, please leave a comment, or if not, reply back to the email that I sent you. But it sounds to me like you have an old memory card. For you to transfer things from your camera and onto new from the S4 and up, they needed faster memory cards. You need a high-speed memory card. It's no longer like, oh, I can get one, I cannot. If you have a 4 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte SD card that's not a class, I believe 8 now, it has to be class 8 or above now, it will not work on your device. And when you transfer over things, yeah, they will get messed up. They can be corrupt. They can cause your phone to crash. It's nothing but bad things. So you need to get a newer memory card, Armando, and try it. Let me know if your memory card is a high-speed one. Then I would probably try reformatting it, and then try moving things over. But no, all you do have to do is move, and that should be fine. But I'm betting it's one of the two. So let me know which one it was. All right, and in other news, another question comes from Harry. And Harry asked, I was moving things using Smart Switch for my Mac when transferring everything from backup to S4. So, you're coming from the iPhone 4S to the Galaxy S4. And it basically was going for 10 minutes and just kept spinning and spinning and spinning and didn't transfer over anything, it looked like. Is there something that that would cause this? I have seen this once before, and it was one specific thing that was causing the whole thing to not move. I would try either not selecting one of them. I'm not sure if it's a bug with Smart Switch. Try making sure you do have the newest version as well, because they have updated it. I know, I think twice within the past month that I've updated on my computer on the PC version, and I'm sure the Mac version have probably got updates as well. But that's the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do is try not selecting certain ones. Like maybe try not selecting contacts or not selecting or possibly see if anything that the main reason why I use it through the Mac is to get your iTunes information. So if you're just trying to get music and iMessage, just do it through there, and then try backing up your iPhone 4S to the iCloud, and then use Smart Switch on the phone. So use the Smart Switch mobile app, which will look like this. Oops. Sorry, I'm messing with the audio right now. But use the Smart Switch mobile app like this, and then you can transfer everything over very easily. So try that, and that'll import everything from your iClouds when you use it on the phone. Let me know how it goes. Katie asks, my daughter hates the backdrop for kids mode on her new Galaxy Tab 4. How can I change it? Unfortunately, Katie, there's no way to currently change it that I know of. The backdrop is the only thing they have. I mean, kids mode is relatively new for Samsung. Your Tab 4 is literally the second device that has it, so it's very new. They have, as far as I know, they have not allowed for changing of the background right now at this point. This is how Samsung did easy mode last year too. Last year you could not change the background, and then this year with the S5 you could. So no word on it yet if kids mode will get a background change. They have had, I believe, only one update so far for kids mode, and that was just allowing for more app download. But unfortunately right now you cannot change the background at this time. So yes. And the last question before we get to the viewer questions in the comment section down below, which comes from Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill asks, I am switching phones, my Galaxy S5 to another Galaxy S5. Is there a way to keep the setup I have now? Ringtones, notifications, folders. I basically want to pick up a replacement phone and it be just the old phone, like ghosting a PC. Unfortunately, there's not a way that I know of to do this without rooting the device, which is a whole nother more complicated thing. But what you can do is use Smart Switch to transfer over everything from your wallpaper, your Wi-Fi connections, your text messages, call log, photos, videos, pictures, music, everything like that will transfer over. Now, the only thing that doesn't is a couple things you mentioned. Ringtones and notifications and all of your folders will transfer over too. That goes along with documents. The only thing that wouldn't really is like how you have it set up. So like the way I have my phone set up, let me turn down the brightness. The way I have my phone set up, I cannot mirror this unless, oh yeah, you can't really mirror that. Now, the final thing is applications. If you have an app or a game that does not back up through the cloud, you will have to use something called Helium. Helium is a program that allows you to back up app information or gaming information that is not normally backed up via Google Play Store or Google Play Games or any kind of Facebook, any kind of non-cloud service that most apps use. But for instance, I think it was Diner Dash, for example. Diner Dash, my girlfriend just went from the S4 to the S5. I had to use Helium in order to move her saved game file from the S4 to the S5. For some reason, Diner Dash just didn't back it up. So there you go. All right, guys. Now I'm going to answer the questions in the comment section down below. Just let me make them bigger. Again, I'm still using a different setup than I used to, so I still have to adjust. Okay. And now I can see all the questions. All right. So we got a couple different ones going here. And the first one I see is from Eve Hill. Um, what's on my Android 2014 video? What do you mean, Ivhill? I'm not sure what's on my Android 2014 video. I'm not sure what you mean by what's on my Android 2014 video, Ivhill. Please elaborate. Um, hey Ricky, hey Frank, I am new to Android, and what does the term rooting mean? Is it like jailbreaking is on Apple devices? So Frank, not exactly. It's not exactly the same, but people usually think it's the same. So jailbreaking an iPhone kind of allows you to download apps for free, um, can change the way it looks. You don't need to do that for Android. You can get free apps just by typing into Google, you know, um, Plants vs. Zombies 2 APK download. And I can download that game onto my phone without paying for it, although I don't think that's a paid for a game. But anyway, that's what you can do. So you don't need to pay for it, or you don't need that in order to, you don't need a root to do that. You also don't need it to change the look of it. This is called a launcher. It makes my phone look different from how Samsung normally makes my phone, which they normally make it like this, and I change it to be like this. This is a launcher. My favorite is Nova Launcher, which I do have a full video on if you want to see what really a launcher can do and how cool it is. But that is what jailbreaking does. Now, when it comes to rooting, you change the phone entirely. And what I mean more by that is you actually can make the operating system different. It is still Android, but you can make it to be something completely different from what it is. Meaning the way it moves is, well, not only the way it moves, but like your processor is completely different. Apps that are built in on there that you cannot get rid of are gone. It's cleaned up. It's changed entirely. It is completely different from what the manufacturer made. And that's really rooting. Rooting also allows you to do free things like, you can use data to make all of your calls. You never have to make a call using your phone. Minutes. You can also do things like have a hotspot for free. There's lots of things that rooting does. It's just a little bit more advanced, but it's similar to jailbreaking in the concept of doing more with your phone, but it's more advanced. You can do more. What I always say is jailbreaking an iPhone is like having an Android. An Android itself is pretty much a jailbreaking iPhone. What do you have on jailbreaking iPhones? Widgets, different looks, different icons. All this, this is just stuff that Android is. All right. Wow, a lot of questions, guys. I'm getting to all of them. Just scrolling up. Will you get the new iPhone to show it's not good compared to Samsung devices? I will get it to show that it's not good compared to any Android device. I still have the HTC One and the G3. I will have them until I get the new iPhone and the Note 4 to compare them to, and then I probably maybe I'll keep one of them. I'm still kind of on the fence about the G3. I will not keep the HTC One. It just does not interest me. Every time I use it, I just like the camera's useless to me. So I do not like it for that reason. But yeah, so that is one thing. I will get the new iPhone, absolutely. I will get the 4.7-inch iPhone when it comes out. The announcement's supposed to be September 19th right now. So we'll see how it does. Welcome to the dark side, Frank. LJK. I may recommend Nova Launcher. Hopefully Ricky will talk about it. I did recommend Nova Launcher. Good call, Eve Hill. Wayne Glassglow asks, hey Wayne, did you see the video with the opened Oculus Rift and the screen was the Note 3 panel? Yes, I did, Wayne. It was hilarious. And this just goes to show you that although we barely found out that Oculus Rift and Samsung were working together, they've been working together. Apparently, they've been working together. So that's really cool about that. So yes. Evil, Ricky, your thoughts on the bill President signed that lets you unlock your phone and choose your carrier? About damn time. I mean that's really all I have to say. why should I not be able to unlock my phone? If I've paid for it, if I'm out of my contract, if I don't need to be here, I should be able to unlock this one and take it anywhere I want. And that's going to open up a whole new world, not only for that, but for manufacturers, because manufacturers can make a phone both WCDMA as well as GSM. So they can make this Note 3 for Verizon work on AT&T, work on Sprint, work on that. It can be done if the manufacturers go in knowing that, oh, we want this phone to be able to be unlocked for all carriers. So that can be done. So it's really exciting, not only because of what is going to be done on one end, but also what manufacturers can now do, and to give us a lot easier time when we unlock our phones. How do I get my Note 3 internal storage to show mass storage instead of M2B? I don't know if you can get it to Wayne. For the Note 8 to show it, I've never tried to, actually. That's a good question. I never have tried. Because, yeah, USB debugging generally, which I'm sure you've already done, will bring up either MTB or PTB. But can't that also do... I guess the Note 8 might not be able to do it, but I swear some have been able to. And the USB connected... Wayne, I will have to look into that, but if you go into developer options and do USB debugging, does it really not give you the mass storage? I thought that would do it. Let me know if you have done that already. Leave it in the comment section down below if you're still seeing it. Will you be getting the new iPhone to compare against the 5S and the G3? Or sorry, the S5 and the G3. Yes, I will. I will be getting that, Frank. Video, would you consider making a what's on your Android device? Oh, what's on my Android device? Yeah, Evil, I have thought, and I have had a few requests for that. It's just always so many things that I have to do videos on. Right now I'm falling behind on my G3 videos. I still need to finish my Android Wear videos. And then before you know it, the Note 4, I'll be doing videos for it. So it's just like, it's always a lot of things. But that has been on my list on like what's on the Android guy's phone. Because a lot of people always ask me that, and like, how do I personalize my phone? How do I set up my phone? And I do it in a very distinct, simple way, I feel. I try not to do too, but there are certain things that I cannot be without, like Nova. I love Nova. I don't think I would ever get rid of it. Swift key I have always. I always have to have Swift key as my keyboard. I also have an app that many of you guys may have not remembered, but I had a video on this one, and it's called Swaps, that I still to this day use, and I love it. So yeah, there are certain ways that I do set up my device, and yeah, I've definitely thought about it. So if it's definitely requested, I will try to keep doing those kind of videos. But yeah, I have had a lot of questions about those kind in the past. All right, guys, that does look like I've answered all of the questions, which there was a lot today. Let's refresh and see and make sure that no one has any other questions to ask. And we did have a lot today. It looks like those were all the questions. All right. Yep, looks like those were all the questions, guys. If you have any more questions, please email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I will try to answer them next week. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.